Just making a quick video on the online coding assignment that was sent to me. Really simple and fairly quick to do so. Went out of my way to show some more skill sets that I can hopefully show you guys the kind of stack and experience that I'm used to working. To begin with, as you can see, obviously we are deployed on a normal EC2 service. I have here running an Nginx React server that is connecting to a Jetty Java backend. I have the Postgres running locally on this Jetty Java right now, but obviously more comfortable and more compatible using RDS for those purposes. Anywho, coming back here, the client first assignment was fairly easy. Testing my building divs and stuff. I was really keen on using as much native HTML and JavaScript code and staying away from the frameworks as possible. Since it was not really mentioned in the doc too well, nor it really went over the outlines of the project rules and stuff, I just thought that if I try my best to really stick with the without any frameworks, it will help you see the kind of architecture I can build. The tabs are clickable, don't lack imagination here, so I kept the information fairly same. Just the headings on top of is changing, but you can fairly know that from my code that fairly easy task to do when it comes to optimizing other things. Coming on the client JavaScript assignment, this is really simple and quick algorithm to analyze and then find the population growth. Right now, it is a complexity is about O of n. It is using one simple for loop that goes through the entire array or the number of the length that we're expecting, and then uses a little bit of recursion to find the desired solution. Coming back here, obviously the assumption was usually that I'm more often used to working with a dot map or dot filter operators in JavaScript, not really using any for loops all around in my development. So that was interesting. But next thing, not the last, the backend assignment. This code is coming, or the data points are coming back from the Postgres itself. To begin with, fairly simple sorting solution using comparators and to iterate over the list and then sort them out. Working just fine right now. Not too again imaginative with my data points, but for testing purposes they were just fine. So coming back on the client code real quick, the architecture is fairly basic in terms of what I'm used to. Using basic barbell webpack configurations that are used to right now hot loading. But to dig in a little further, views is where all our pages are. Maybe a little come off a little over engineered itself, but it really works extremely well when it comes to large applications and a lot of code. Routes, using router DOM for most of my development gives me more flexibility in terms of routing through and then keeping track of my pages and history and whatnot. Utils is I'm just using the Axios library here just for a quick um, getting data from the backend. More used to using Redux for state management or even Real. As you can see, the reason why even the project itself is over engineered in some levels is to keep up with the Redux and stuff that I hope you can have a look at on my GitHub account. Um, with a lot of the projects that I've worked on that can show you the kind of Redux architecture that I followed or created. Coming back on this, I already showed you this algorithm. Shouldn't be any questions around to it. Don't really need any component inbound on that. Coming back to the backend now. Backend is a simple solution also. It's built with and managed in Gradle using Maven dependencies. To begin with, build.gradle contains all our basic most dependencies for mostly all projects. The project is Java, creates a .war file and is deployed onto Jetty. In our web.xml that is located under source, main, and web app and webm folder. Here, basically kind of justifying the paths and stuff. As you can see, there's a comment of block code. Usually The initial thought process was to keep the client on the same project space as such, but a lot more flexible with creating three different environments where your backend, client side, and your database can breathe freely. I'm using Hibernate to create my entities on this project. Fairly simple, nothing too complex even with Hibernate for this project because there's not any relationships as set. Update, query, and stuff. So the thought process begins with all my routes are in the IWS layer. Um, we'll follow through. It will go through the information layer where I'm usually switching the entity objects from the data pojos. I like to keep my entities separate from the data pojos, just give me a more flexibility on to track the kind of data that is coming or going out from a backend service to the client side and vice versa. The fetch people, the initial thought process was to actually do the sorting itself in the queries itself by order by kind of using doc clause. But since the project itself was testing on sorting algorithms and sorting mechanism as such, I took the time and the liberty to really write the sorting algorithm right here. The initial thought process is to verify and then look for the sort field that's coming in, even check it out if it's currently present in our entity object, and then using comparators, I am sorting through the desired sort field if present or if given thereon. So yeah, that's really is about it. Fairly simple and quick project. The code itself took me about 2-3 hours in total of time to build, and then another 15-20 minutes to really deploy. I have taken a lot of notes in terms of um, how the servers were developed as such. I'm more than happy to put them in the README document if needed, or even I'll go through it after this video to show you the kind of development I'm here doing here. But that is about it. I really hope you enjoyed my work and you appreciated the kind of stack that I work with and the experience I have. Thank you.